All right, Overland Park CrossFit, welcome to another Fitness Friday video. This week we're going to talk about butt stuff. Not that kind of butt stuff. We're going to talk about gym butt stuff and activating our glutes. Some of us have an issue doing that. I personally do on only one of my glutes, my left side. But I'm going to term that for today glute amnesia. So today what we're going to do, we're going to look at 3 different exercises to try and wake our glutes up, get them active, get them primed for stuff in the gym, and potentially keep them turned on at all times. 2 of those exercises are going to be with one of these simple little short circular bands. This is going to be kind of a fantastic tool that you can use. And then we will also throw it into the 3rd exercise that we don't quite need the band for. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of those exercises. All right, so that first exercise that we're going to look at today is going to be the monster walk. This one you've probably done before, but I'm going to throw some specific kind of picky rules when we do these monster walks. I know I'm in flip-flops today, but when we do these monster walks, what I want you guys to think about is when we're going front to back, our feet are on train tracks. When we're going side to side, we're on a single line like we're on trapeze or whatever. But I want you to think about nice straight lines, keeping everything over your midline. When I go front to back, I want those feet to come heel to toe, no further. So when I'm stepping and my toes of my foot that's moving is just going to my heels, or my heel is going to my toes as I'm coming back. It is nice, it's deliberate, and I keep that band pushing out with my knees. I'm not just relaxing. I'm not letting that band stand here and pull my knees in. I'm actively pushing even past neutral, just a little bit like the start of a squat. So when we start that squat, we don't just push our hips back, we push the hips back and push those knees out just a little bit, create some of that torque in our hips. Same thing on the monster walk. Now when we go side to side, wherever I'm going to squat from, so for me that's going to be about here, I don't ever want to come any more narrow than that. So I'm going to step out and come back to that squat stance. Step out, squat stance. Decide, it's really key to try and push those knees out, especially as we hit that end point of that drive into the next step, because we're going to have a tendency to want to shorten up and be a little bit lazy. Keep those knees out, keep that tension in our glutes. I would suggest 25-foot increments, whether that be side to side, 25 and 25, front to back, 25 and 25. Slowly build that distance or build that resistance in our band. When it comes to the band placement, the closer to our hips we make that band, the easier this exercise is going to be. So right below my kneecap is going to be harder than right above my kneecap, and the hardest place I can put it is actually around the arches of my foot. So that is exercise number 1. Let's take a look at exercise number 2. Hey. All right. Exercise number 2 is going to be a clamshell. We can do this with or without a band. The keys here are in the fundamentals and making sure that we do the movement correctly and not increase our resistance until we can do it correctly. So when we do this clamshell, what I want you to do, you're going to stack your shoulder to your hip to your ankle. So when I'm down here on my side, I'm going to put a hand underneath my head. My hip, shoulder, and ankle are in this nice straight line, and I'm not going to change anything from this point. This is exactly where I'm going to be. The top of my hip goes straight down through the bottom of my hip. Just like if I were standing, I'd put a PVC pipe right through there. It'd be shooting straight to the ceiling. I don't want to open up here, and I don't want to close off to the front. I want to be stacked nice and tall in this nice, perfect position. When we do the clamshell, we are going to activate that top glute especially to open up and then bring the knee back. Notice that my feet don't open when I do this, so I'm not doing this to create that motion. My ankles are locked together and my hip is not going to open. When we do this to reach for that extra inch or 2 of motion, I'm actually hurting myself by turning things off. So I actually want to stay nice and short, and until I start to open those hips is where I'm going to live. If you want, you can take a hand, put it on that butt cheek, make sure that that thing is firing, gives you a little bit of a tactile cue. All right, on to the last exercise. All right, so this one you may have done with me in a warm-up before. I've used it a couple times. It's fantastic. It's one of the ones that I really like personally. Not that I don't like the other two, but this one I really like myself. It really challenges not only your hips, but also the rest of your core. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna find a bench, box, your bed, a couch, a coffee table, any of that. This is one that you can especially do at home. You can also do the other ones at home, especially that clamshell with no resistance. So this I'm gonna show you with the band. This is one that we're definitely gonna start without a band. That way we can keep technique. This one is gonna look or feel a lot more challenging than it looks. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come back to where our shoulder blades are the only thing on that bench or box. I'm in this nice flat tabletop position. Let's turn it so that you guys can see what I mean. So I'm here on those shoulder blades, nice flat tabletop. From here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fire that glute on the opposite side. So my left leg is gonna stay down. I'm gonna take my right and kick it out straight and come back. Ideally, I'm not going to rotate my hips in any way in order to cheat that motion. I'm gonna keep everything here nice and stacked and stable. If we wanna make this more challenging, what we can do is we add that resistance band, and then to make it even more challenging than that, we take the knee and we bring it up to a 90-degree position, again fighting that rotation. So those are 3 glute amnesia workouts, exercises. I would do them in 3 to 5 sets, maybe 15 to 20 reps, just to where we're getting that muscle to burn, not to where you're getting to a fully fatigued state. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to me, ask one of the other coaches here at OPCF, or if you have real serious issues that are not working, set up one of those personal training sessions, maybe 30 minutes would be perfect for this, and ask those questions. We can get things set up specifically for you. With that, you guys have a great weekend.